Hey guys, so in this video I want to talk about Noire. She is a new unit that is coming to China version of Reverse 999 after Liang Yue, and I want to talk about her kit. Okay, personally I think she's a DPS unit, but her main thing here is that she does negative status like burn, poison, and re-DGT, and she has one ability that focuses or basically transfer all the negative status from the other enemy to the one that she's targeting. So here you can see she transferred the negative status, right? And in this showcase, after you transfer, the developer did Sotheby's ulti, which then trigger all the poison, so killing that specific enemy. In this showcase, on the other hand, it is with Andronella and Lopera. Okay, so what happens here is that they are showcasing her ultimate where Noire can trigger several ultimate at once because she have a buff, and that buff give her a probability to actually trigger her ultimate again, right? I'm not too sure exactly like what number of genius inspiration she needs to have, but in this showcase she triggers like 3 times. So this is the second time, and then she trigger it again. Okay, so that actually sounds really crazy. And here we have Anjo doing her own ultimate attack. So that's all for the showcase that they can show us, and let us go through her kit. So her Insight miniature set at the start of turn inflicts spotlight to the enemy with the highest HP. I'm not sure if this by percentage or by number, because if it's by percentage it might be a bit annoying. Let's say we are targeting one specific boss and now the boss HP is like 80%, while the minions we did not attack is still 100, and if this spotlight is going to change target that way, then it's gonna be quite annoying to handle that. But unless it is based on a total number, and usually the boss or the main enemy will have higher HP than the rest, then that would be fine. Okay, I2 at the start increase attack, I3 when inflicting spotlight increases Moxie and acquires several layers of genius inspiration. Well, I'm not too sure what to go about with this, because when inflicting spotlight, if the enemy already has spotlight, let's say if you're fighting a single target enemy, there's no other enemy where you can inflict spotlight on, so you just inflict on one. Does every turn at the beginning she re-inflict it? If it does, then it will be quite crazy, because she will be getting Moxie and several layers of genius inspiration every single turn. So she can just stand there for 5 turns and she can get Moxie and get her ultimate. Or maybe use her as one every few turns, and then eventually she will get Moxie. Well, we really do not know what to go about with this because it's not showcased. But if any of you have any information about this, please do let me know in the comment section. Yeah, because this does really makes it that how she actually function in some of the team, especially the negative status team like poison and burn. Okay, anyway, genius inspiration is a special status by Noire. For each layer gain, the probability of releasing her ultimate again increases to a maximum number of layers. So this is where she can do multiple ultimate. Okay, for her ultimate, let us read her ultimate first. Mass mental damage to all enemies, and I believe the percentage maybe shouldn't be too high because she has possibility to re-trigger it. Maybe 300% AoE maybe. And for each type of negative status, increased damage multiplier and penetration rate. Yeah, if this number is unlimited, then this can be pretty insane if you put her in a team that has a lot of negative status, which we will talk about later on. When there is genius inspiration, there is a probability to consume certain layer of genius inspiration to release the ultimate again. So these can repeat multiple times. For skill 1, single mental damage, and before attacking, focus all negative status of other enemy to the target. So this is the one that they demonstrated to us, where you use S1 and all the poison is being transferred to that specific unit. This part can be quite bad depending on the fight that you are against. Like if you are in raid, this will be perfect because usually raid you have a single target enemy and you have minion at the side, and you sometimes don't even want to attack the minion, you just want the boss to die. So this is good because now it brings in and single target onto a specific enemy. But if you are fighting like certain fights in like roguelike or later on Revelry where you have several units and they are all like almost equally strong, then you wouldn't really want to transfer all the poison to that one specific enemy, because now you killed it and then you left one more, and if you're using some AoE attack, another half of the damage will be gone. So usually if I like fighting equally strong, I really want to throw in like AoE attack, so not just single target on one of it. Unless they really hit so hard that I just need one of it to die, so they attack less. Here is also mentioned that this attack can trigger the effect of Spotlight. Okay, here I'm a bit confused. Does it mean that I re-inflict Spotlight, or rather that because with Spotlight on the enemy, when I'm attacking the enemy with Noire, then she inflicts negative status. So if I'm using S2 to attack instead of S1, do I trigger the negative status twice? Right? So yeah, I'm not really sure about that. So overall, Noire is a DPS unit, and she does not buff the party by any means, and she inflict negative status, but not really taking advantage of the negative status itself. Like if the enemy is Petrify, it does nothing to her. If the enemy is burned, it also does nothing to her, similar to poison. So she does the negative status so that her ulti can hit harder, since it's similar to Six and Anjo's Nala, where you want the enemy to be inflicted with a lot of different kind of negative status. She then focuses all the negative status from the other enemy onto a single enemy. So this can be good or even bad depending on the fight that you are going up against. If you are like in raid, I think that will be a very good thing to do. So let's say if you are fighting the Darkness of the Abyss, where you have 3 units and you are inflicting all the poison, you technically want to do most of the damage on the main enemy. So sometimes, like, you know, when we use Tuesday's array and at the end of the array, Tuesday inflict a big chunk of damage, now that is tripled, right? So that is tripled. And if we have Kakania in the team, then everything will be recorded and another big chunk of Genesis damage will be inflicted. So that gameplay could be pretty interesting. But now if you are fighting against, like, let's say you are in certain stages, I do not want to specifically mention which because I'm not too sure what is coming in the China version. But you are fighting against 2 or 3 equally strong, like let's say the Utu right now, right? We have the J and 37 combo that everyone hates. Then both of them are equally strong. You want to kill them at the same time. Or you want to focus target on J, and after he dies, then you focus target on 37, because Noire will probably be that kind of playstyle if you're fighting against several enemy that is equally strong. But by the time J is defeated, then when we are targeting 37, then all our mass attack will lose half of its damage because it's just a single target unit right now. So in that situation, the turn count for completing a stage might be longer, right? So you may not necessarily want to use her for those type of content, but doesn't mean that she can't be used. It's just that it will not be as effective. So let us look into the 3 negative status and the team that supposedly she might be good at, right? So here first is Poison Team. So Poison Team damage usually spread out, as I give you the example for Darkness of the Abyss, where every enemy is inflicted with poison. Now she basically focuses it. That can be pretty good. But I could see that the main gameplay still revolve around Tuesday. Like Tuesday will be the one using more of the AP, and Noire is just there to attack once in a while to give herself the genius inspiration stack so that her ultimate can be casted several times. But even at that, her ultimate will be a bit weak because there's only like poison, and maybe she herself inflict another 2 status, so at most there's just 3 negative status. And if instead you want to optimize Noire's damage, then she will also use up a lot of AP, whereby Tuesday is using AP, so to be you want to poison as well. So it will be very AP, very tight that you want to use all the skills, right? And now if you add Willow in, which I think will probably not work because Willow is also using a lot of AP together with Tuesday, so there's nothing left for Noire. So in this case, you might probably want to use another unit that have a better support for this poison team. So although she does poison, doesn't mean she should be in a poison team. Maybe like Liang Yue would be better, like going for the green card and her casting more poison every time she trigger her mass attack. So I don't really think she belongs to the poison team. But let's see, because it now depends on how much poison she does and how much damage she do as well. Alright? Okay, the next team here is Petrification. Because she inflict Rigidity, and if there's 2 Rigidity, then it will convert into Petrify. Because the only character that does that right now is Sasuke. So now she also have Rigidity. But first of all, do note that Rigidity is a negative status, but Petrification is not a negative status. It is a control debuff. So that will not boost her ultimate damage. And now you are talking about Petrification team, it is Druvis and Jessica. Jessica is a DPS. She's going to use a lot of AP. Druvis, also you want to use her S1 or something in order to inflict poison. Inflict Petrification. You want to use her ultimate to inflict Petrification. So there's kind of like no more AP left for Noire as well. So again, I don't really recommend Noire in Petrification team. And here we have Burn team. Okay, and Burn team maximum stack is 30. First of all, Spatodia need 15 stack. If you are using Spatodia with Isolde or Jay, you would probably hit 15 stack already, so you don't need Noire to be there. Now for Isolde and Jay, their ultimate is based on SS stacks of Burn. So Burn is 30 maximum. If you can hit that by the time when they use their ultimate, then they will gain additional access stat. For Isolde, the maximum access that she can hit right now is 10. And for each is 15% incantation might. So she get 150% incantation might, which is really big. That's why she can do pretty huge damage from her ultimate. Jay, on the other hand, is based on the burn stack on himself, and then he gets the access, right? So if Noire is used with this burn team, and then she's basically, okay, like let's say you have 3 enemies, everyone have burn. So before Isolde out, you use Noire's S1, you transfer all the burn to one enemy, then now you have 30 stacks. Alright, then Isolde will be attacking, and then Jay will be attacking. While that can work, okay, but I can do that as well without Noire in the party. All I need to do is like have a character that is passive, like Tooth Fairy, she doesn't attack. So every turn she's accumulating pre-ignition stacks from Isolde, and maybe by each rotation, like maybe 3 turns or 4 turns, Tooth Fairy will have like 12 stacks of pre-ignition. So if I use her attack, her debuff, at the start before Isolde uses her ultimate, then I would inflict 10 over stacks on the enemy, and I would achieve 30 stacks pretty easily. So I don't think Noire actually helps out this team as much. And Noire is a DPS, so we want to see how Isolde can support her, because Isolde is a support unit. The thing is that Noire's specialty is casting multiple ultimate, but Isolde's rousing morale as well as energy bursts is a stack based buff, which means after one attack is gone. So which means Noire's first attack is going to be buff, subsequent follow-up ultimate will not be affected. So in that case, it's also not the best synergy that we have. Lopera is a good support, but again, Noire's ultimate just need the burn to be there. It doesn't need to have so many burn stack, in fact. So now that we have gone through the poison, petrification, and burn team, so it doesn't seem like she really fit into those teams, although she inflict those negative status. So where does she belong? Well, first of all, look into these 2 points. First, her ultimate hit hard and is based on the number of negative status. That is like Anjo and 6. Meaning her negative status is simply to make her hit harder. But why she have these 3 specific negative status and not the others? So there is some synergy there. Second point here is she can cast multiple ultimate based on genius buff. So this makes her, like I say, a DPS, and you want to be attacking the enemy often with her. I'm not sure which one, S1 or S2, that give her the genius inspiration, whereby when she uses her ultimate, she will then cast it multiple times. So negative status, ultimate, that skill on negative status. Here I'm looking into a new team. Not really new because people already does it like Anjonala and 6 in order to boost Anjonala's ultimate. Now you add Noire in the team. So now you have a full set of this 3 unit synergizing over negative status, whereby 6 not just negative status but any form of debuff including control and stats downs. So Noire, Anjonala, and 6 ultimate could potentially deal very big damage when you put all 3 of them together. And again, I told you that Noire has 3 negative status, and this negative status, Anjonala doesn't inflict it. 6 doesn't inflict it. So there is the synergy. So you can have a lot of different kind of stacks of negative status, and now Anjonala and Noire is going to hit really, really hard. Right? So before that, let's say if you want to add on some poison team, you might put Tuesday in there. Or Jay, so he provide burn. But again, they are just providing 1 negative status. Noire can provide all 3. So here I'm recommending like Noire as the main DPS, Anjo as a sub DPS, 6 as the support, and then you have like Tooth Fairy as the healer. Why Tooth Fairy? Because Confusion is also a negative status, and it will add on to the damage when you use her ultimate. So now if you are using this team, Anjo will contract with Noire, and being a plant team, which means they will be getting Moxie pretty fast, because the status here is Blood and Bane, so every time you use an incantation, then you get additional Moxie. So they will be spamming a lot of ultimate. So now this whole team builds or synergize together. Then 6 is there to occasionally cast debuff and inflict more negative status. And Tooth Fairy, you only do it when you want to use her ultimate, then you use the debuff to inflict confusion, so Anjonala can inflict something else. There are 7 negative status that Anjonala can inflict, but it's by random, and prioritize negative status that has not been inflicted. So now you have Tooth Fairy doing confusion, and then 6 casting another 2, let's say, negative status. Then Anjonala will cast another 2 negative status. And finally, Noire, hopefully before that you are using her as one often, that there are also multiple burn, poison, or rigidity on the enemy. So here you are potentially looking at total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 negative status. So their damage is going to be really, really high. Especially if you have P3 Anjonala, right? You get double the Moxie if I'm not mistaken, and then for each negative status it's 100% damage. So 8 is like additional 800%. And adding on to her base damage, she's gonna deal like 1000 over percent of damage, which is insane. And then now you have Noire also having a similar mechanics. Maybe she's gonna do 1000 over damage as well. 1000 over percent damage, and then she's gonna do it multiple times. So yeah. But let's wait for the actual number reveal before we go crazy about this. Okay, another team here is to remove 6 and substitute Shamaine in. Shamaine has this, after he get Euphoria, he has this mechanic where every time you use the ultimate, he gets Surge. And when he uses his ultimate, then he distributes the Surge and Moxie to all your units. So if Noire is going to do multiple ultimate, then she will be giving 3 stack of Surge every time she does it. If she does it twice, that's 6. Anjo Nala will also do twice because the moment you cast her ultimate, it's a channel. And then after that, she triggers her ultimate, which is an attack. So it's actually twice. So this will give like 12 stacks of Shamaine, but the max stack is just 10. Anyway, with Noire and Anjo Nala, it will be very easy to hit 10 stacks for Shamaine. And each stack for Shamaine is 5% ultimate might, so that's 50% ultimate might. So Shamaine will be hitting really hard with his ultimate. And when he uses ultimate for each stack of Surge, he's going to randomly give a unit a Moxie. So 10 stack means 10 Moxie, and that's a lot even though it's random. Then we also have Ceremonious. For each Surge distributed is 5 stack of Ceremonious, so that's 10%. So if he does it 10 times, so that's 100% worth of ultimate might that will be spread around your team. Yeah, so I think this team will be viable. It will be very fun to use. So I'm looking forward to that. The reason why I'm putting Tooth Fairy here, that is because Noire will probably use quite a lot of AP. Anjo will be using a lot of AP as well. Shamaine, you does need to use his ultimate and maybe his debuff once in a while. So we'll be using a lot of AP as well. So TF will be the most AP friendly unit that you can have here. Or if it will be a bit difficult for Noire to inflict all 3 negative status all the time, then we can substitute Tooth Fairy with Lopera, where Lopera will contribute to burn and Noire will contribute to poison and rigidity. So should you pull this character? I think if you have Anjo Nala, then probably you should, right? I will. I don't know how, but Bluepock is really doing a pretty good job here creating characters that really synergize with others, making them so difficult to skip. But anyway, thanks for watching this video. I hope this does help you out. Someone requested for Loggerhead, so if you're watching this video and you are here listening to me, if you have the translation for Loggerhead, please share it in the comment section so I can analyze it. Alright, so thank you very much and have a good day.